And then the last thing I want to say before I get started in the video is you have to understand boxing as a business. And this is going to disappoint some people. This undercard, a lot of people are envisioning just these crazy great mega fights. And I promise you, just based on the business, most likely, more than likely, we're not going to get this explosive undercard like maybe we got with some of the previous Mayweather fights, because you have to stay within a certain threshold and a certain budget. Mayweather and Pacquiao are the top earners in the sport. So they, with their purses and what they stand to make in this particular fight, that takes up and hogs up a lot of your budget. And you have to be realistic and, again, stay within those parameters. Again, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but most likely we're not going to get an all action explosive card from top to bottom where it's just stacked like that. We could still get some good fights, but again, I don't think it's going to be what some people expect, because there's a lot of things you have to consider. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I started with that clip. That's from a video I did February 22nd, so a month ago. And I was basically playing matchmaker. It was my segment, Ego's Matchmakers, picking 10 undercard fights that I would love to see on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. But being realistic, I did tell you at the beginning of the video, which is the clip I played, that there's so much money going to the main event, Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, that most likely we weren't going to get this explosive all-star, like top to bottom undercard like we may have gotten in the past, like a stacked card basically, like when we had Danny Garcia, Lucas Matisse on the Canelo versus Mayweather undercard. I really didn't see that. The two head stars of this card are getting so much money. I didn't see that. But it was announced that Leo Santa Cruz will be on the May 2, Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Mayweather, whatever you call it, undercard. Now, before you get too excited, you got to be realistic. Well, actually, let me start off by a tweet on social media from Abner. Abner said, "I hear Leo Santa Cruz is fighting May 2 and has no opponent yet. I'll fight him. 3-week notice. I'm on vacation, but 3 weeks is all I need." Now, as a boxing fan, it's a good fight. Is it the #1 fight that Leo Santa Cruz should be facing? Probably not. Leo Santa Cruz is in a different division from Abner, but nonetheless, stylistically, it's a good fight, and it's on Cinco de Mayo. The trouble is, they're saying Leo Santa Cruz is fighting TBD, which is to be determined. And the reality is there's 3 weeks until May 2nd. So I really doubt in that 3 weeks, Abner and Leo Santa Cruz and their teams are going to come up on some kind of deal that works out for both of them. And we're going to see Leo Santa Cruz move up from super bantamweight to fight Abner at 126 or a catchweight with only 3 months, 3 weeks. 3 months wouldn't be bad, but 3 weeks to prepare. I just really don't see it happening. And if you follow boxing, anytime you see Earl Spence in TBA or TBD or Gary Russell Jr. in TBA, TBD, it's usually not a good sign, or whoever the person is, it's usually not a good sign, and it usually stipulates they'll be fighting somebody who's going to be a massive underdog, and it's not going to be the big marquee names that you want to see. So I'm not holding my breath. I really, truthfully don't see it being the type of fight like a Rigondeaux or Quigg or Frampton or something that the fans would really, truthfully want to see, or even an Abner fight. I really don't see that being put together within 3 weeks' time. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll admit I'm wrong, and I'll be happy, but I just don't see it. Especially if you look at Leo Santa Cruz's last performance versus Jesus Ruiz, really wasn't impressive. And he fought a sparring partner. And I'm not even trying to clown, but not even in a good way. Some sparring partners, like Johnny Gonzalez, sparred with Abner, so they're former sparring partners, and you've seen the outcome of that fight. Johnny Gonzalez was able to knock Abner out, but Johnny Gonzalez also was a former world champion. So that's different. Jesus Ruiz is not the type of guy that has a name in the sport. Nobody really requested that fight, and it took 8 rounds for Leo Santa Cruz to get him out of there. I just ultimately wasn't impressed with the selection of Leo Santa Cruz's last 2 opponents, Manuel Roman, another sparring partner, and Jesus Ruiz. And it's very disappointing because I like Leo Santa Cruz. I like his story. He's family-oriented, soft-spoken. He has vicious body shots. It's just his career seemed like it was starting to boil over and crescendo up, and he was fighting guys like Christian Mahares, Cesar Seda, Victor Teresas, Eric Morale, Alexander Munoz, a veteran. He was fighting those guys. And then all of a sudden, it's like his car was started to increase in speed. He was at 25 miles per hour, 45. Then he got up to 65. Then all of a sudden, he hits the e-brake, or his promoter, or whoever, whatever the fuck happened. And he started to backtrack. It started going in reverse. Guys like Rigondeaux were calling him out. And he's saying, I need $3 million to fight Rigondeaux and all kinds of stuff. And he started finding sparring partners. So I don't like the direction his career is headed. He was with Golden Boy. He's no longer with Golden Boy. He is Al Heyman advised. So Al Heyman is taking care of his career. Obviously, Mayweather Promotions is a business. So they're trying to capitalize on the fact that it's Cinco de Mayo and put a Mexican star, a guy with a solid fan base, on their card. The only problem is, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, I'm not trying to be less optimistic or pessimistic, but I really don't see in 3 weeks something big. I don't see it being a big fight like a Gary Russell Jr. even or Rigondeaux. You know what I mean? Because these dudes, I mean, 3 weeks notice is not that much. Yeah, there's been fights like Terrence Crawford, Bradis Prescott that were put together in 2 weeks, but Terrence Crawford's people, his own manager at the time, Cameron Duncan, didn't want him to take the Bradis Prescott fight because that's just so little time to prepare. And as a boxer, one loss could, you know what I mean, set you back tremendously. So ultimately what I'm trying to say is I think Leo Santa Cruz is going to fight for the third time another less than satisfactory type of opponent. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted once they announce who he will be fighting. But so far, I'm not really thrilled with the May 2 undercard. It hasn't been the type of matches that I hope for. And even there's some matches that I don't think would cost that much money that are still great matches. And that's why I made the video. So check out my video and you can kind of compare my top 10. And I even had alternatives. I really got detailed in that video. And pit them against the matches that you have heard, like the Jesse Harts and Vasyl Lomachenko. It's just these guys, they're not bad fighters, but it's who they're facing. I don't think they're going to be facing the type, like if Vasyl Lomachenko rematch Gary Russell Jr., that would be intriguing to me. Vasyl Lomachenko versus Nicholas Walters, that is a good fight. You know what I mean? Rigondeaux, but I don't think we're going to get anything close to those types of fights on this particular card. Call me pessimistic. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. Leo Santa Cruz, who should he fight next? Who do you want to see him fight? Do you think the Abner Mares fight can be made, even though Abner Mares is saying on social media that that's all the time he needs? Do you think it can be realistically made and both guys prepared for whatever weight, a catch weight or whatever, in only 3 weeks' time? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.